Hey guys, it's almost 2022, so what better time to run through really quickly what we were able to do in 21 and what we're hoping to do in 22. I know that it's a tough time right now for so many folks between COVID and financial struggles and concerns about what this last year has meant for our families and our loved ones. But I do think it's worthwhile to remember the really important things that have happened that we can celebrate. And as a port commissioner, I just want to share a few of the things that I'm particularly proud of from this last year. I want to say first how proud I am of our staff in particular. They were truly exemplary in addressing a once-in-a-century pandemic and doing so at the point of connection for so many people, whether it's the airport or a seaport where we're bringing in all the goods and services. They were truly remarkable, from the fishing fleets working off Alaska to the baggage handlers at SeaTac. Everybody was truly remarkable, and I am really grateful for that. I had a unique opportunity this year to join our fire department for a training session in May, and they gave me this gear, which I love to wear. But aside from that, I really want to just think about the big picture stuff that was really important to us at the Port of Seattle this year. The first was, of course, protecting the health and safety of our workers and our community. And I think that's where staff really stepped up big. We started, now almost 2 years ago with very little information about how to manage this, but we're able to really quickly and in a way that was truly innovative and became a model for ports around the nation, address the life safety issues first and foremost, and then the ongoing health and safety concerns for workers, passengers at SeaTac, and people throughout our community that come in contact with the port and its ecosystem. So I think that's the most important thing. The second thing was we in 2021 really kicked off our initiative to lead an equitable recovery for our region. We knew early on that the pandemic and the economic impacts were hitting certain folks harder than others. And so we wanted to make sure that our response addressed the needs of those who were hardest hit. We saw early on how women were really impacted in the workspace, how young people were especially impacted in the workspace. And so we led with initiatives that addressed those disparate impacts of the crisis and did that throughout the county. And those programs will continue. We're continuing to look at ways that we can help lead an equitable recovery for the entire region. Second, I want to say that, for me, probably the most important thing, big issue that for me personally was the creation and inauguration of Maritime High School this year. We welcomed our first class, our freshman class this year. And we're right now about to kick off our second recruiting and enrollment period for the second class that will be joining. So each year over these 4 years, we're welcoming a new freshman class to kick off this high school so that by the time that fourth year rolls around, we'll have all 4 grades present. And our goal is to recruit 100 kids each year to the school. We have been extraordinarily lucky in incredible leadership at Highline Schools and the Northwest Maritime Center and the Duwamish River Community Coalition for that effort. And we're getting great press because it's a truly extraordinary program for high school kids. The next thing is really the start of what I believe will be generational work for offshore renewable energy in the Pacific Ocean. I think that Seattle, the Port of Seattle in particular, can be a hub for West Coast wind. And we know that with every news cycle, we see another example of how we are being impacted by climate change. And we need to take climate action to address that. We both need to stop what we're doing that's contributing to climate change and also find ways to grow a green economy that helps in a just transition from careers and livelihoods based on the fossil economy and move folks into the green economy. And I genuinely believe that for us in Seattle, we have a unique opportunity to lean into the offshore wind industry that's coming to the west coast of the United States. And then a really huge goal that we achieved this year and continue to push to accelerate even more is the reduction of greenhouse gas related to the operations of the Port of Seattle. But also associated with the ecosystem around us, and figuring out ways that we can not only address our own emissions, but also support others who are working to address their emissions. And so this year we announced a major initiative around the reduction of greenhouse gases associated with our maritime operations. It's called Charting the Course to Zero. And that is truly groundbreaking, and we think will be a model for ports around North America. In addition to that, we are looking at ways that we can continue to reduce emissions associated with airport operations. Both of these are huge contributors to overall greenhouse gas emissions. And unfortunately, there's some of the areas where we've, as a globe, have seen the least amount of progress. And so we think it's an area where we absolutely need to take big strides right now, whether that's through the use of sustainable aviation fuels at the airport or the introduction of zero emissions vessels in the seaport side of things. These are big, hard problems to solve, but we think that's the role that we should play, is to be a model for how those things can be solved. In addition to that, I am extraordinarily excited to welcome 2 new commissioners, Toshiko Hasegawa and Hamdi Mohammed, to our commission beginning tomorrow. We have already been laying out the groundwork for a really successful year, I think, as a commission. We are already prioritizing what our values are and what we hope to accomplish as a new commission this year. And I think we have a great team, a truly talented group of 5 commissioners who can make big advances in the long-term vision for the Port of Seattle to complement an extraordinary executive leadership team and staff throughout the organization, whether that's the folks that keep the ships coming and going on time, the folks who are right now, as a matter of fact, dealing with a snow emergency at the airport and doing so in an extraordinarily gracious and efficient manner. And so with that, Happy New Year's to you and your family. I'm really looking forward to an extraordinary 2022 that is going to put the pandemic behind us and allow us to move forward. All right, my best to you all.